so I'll make sure everybody has a copy of it.
Sounds good.
All right. Today we have a couple of people on with us from Frontline, and we're very thankful that they are here today because they are going to talk about all the fun upcoming changes and all of the, just in general, a lot of different items. So we're very happy to have them with us. I am going to share my screen first and just kind of uh, I will also send out this presentation, and then I will share Matthias and Kim if they once they send me their presentation as well. I'll make sure to share that out to the group. But today our agenda is pretty much the same. We're going to do our frontline updates. We're going to talk about the different products we're going to go through, and then just some different individualized updates about school year initialization, report card changes, that kind of fun stuff. Can't believe it's February already, and our next meeting is going to be the end of the year. So it is flying by, and we are just kind of getting into the thick of it right now. So with that, I don't know, Matthias or Kim, I don't know which one of you are going to present first, or okay, I believe you should have the ability to share.
Looks like it.
Okay, perfect. I will let you go ahead and take over.
Great. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Kim Harvey, and I am the SIS product owner. I work with Frontline, but I actually am employed by the Management Council. So just in case you didn't know that, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to be walking through some Frontline updates. The agenda starts with student information. We'll move into data map, gradebook, and then parent access. So just go. So for the student information, we'll be going through the 25.2 release items and some EMIS updates. So many districts have requested that the summer year date range be expanded. So we have expanded that to May 15th through August 15th. That is from the original dates of June 1st to July 31st. For the summer 2026 school year, a script will be applied, so that will extend those dates for you for this summer. As part of our ongoing focus on data privacy, the Social Security number field has been removed from the easy query within the SIS student search. Okay, now I'm like, okay, sorry. Okay. Also, we'll be removing all the Social Security number filters from the search option, advanced search options, the easy query, ad hoc memberships, and as well as the R201A report. It was requested that we change the calendar percentages page to update when a withdraw for a student who was in more than one building, to just automatically update. Well, that would have been probably a year's worth of work. So what we've done is kind of not the best option, but hopefully a really helpful option, where we put a message on the building withdrawal screen for students who are enrolled in more than one building. So when a user goes to withdraw that student, they will see this little warning or this little grid, and it shows what their current percentages are. So this user can note those down, withdraw the student, and then go back to the the calendar percentages page and update those to the correct percentages if necessary, because they do reset to 50-50. So if the student is 50-50, they won't have to go and change them, but anything other than that, they will have to change them. On the district options page, we changed the graduation, we replaced the graduation points to graduation summary to go along with our new graduation summary page. And then the special education program has been hidden because it's not applicable anymore. And on the graduation summary screen, under biology, and of course, the AP, IB, and CCP substitute options have been removed from that view since they're no longer applicable. And if I'm going too fast, please let me know. The Managed School Status page has been renamed to the Managed School Settings page as we've added new functionality there. So now ITCs can set the default school year for the entire ITC or for each district individually. Previously, we had to submit a ticket to our state support team, where then they ran a script to update the applicable districts or the entire ITC. So there's a new default school year tab, and this is where the ITC will go to change the default school year. So currently, I know I feel like I'm moving around to all these different areas, but we make changes in so many different areas, I have to cover them all. So currently, course requests are marked as pending on the public course request module if a student doesn't click submit. So a request, because the districts cannot run the scheduler for course requests that are pending, a request was submitted to set all course requests to approved for courses flowing in from the public course request module. So now they'll be set automatically to approved. Except if a guardian approval required is set to anything other than none, then the parent pending will still function as it does now. So this is what it will look like. The request status will show approved, and thus it will allow the districts to bulk schedule students when needed without having to contact state support. And here we've also updated the public administration application configuration request page. We've updated the none to show all requests will be set to approved status. So we've updated the homeschool export and import, which it will now include the GPA add-on level and the IS honors course flag. This aligns with ODU's guidance for the CTAG and ITAG courses. So hopefully that will be helpful for people who are manually having to edit those course history records. So we made quite a few report updates in the Analytics Hub. The ACT pre-ID reports were updated to reflect the new test code, which includes the required science section for juniors. This was applied already in December. So all your pre-ID reports for the ACT should be working correctly and have the correct code. The district-wide membership and hours report was updated to include the out-of-school suspension and medical absence hours. We also created a chronic absentee report, which highlights different thresholds. So it will highlight the 5% if the student is at 5% or higher in yellow, and it will highlight if the student has reached the 10% threshold or higher. Hopefully it won't be, but that will be in red. And it also includes the satellite flag. The absence hours by reporting period, we added the school year filter, which I don't know why it wasn't included, but we've added that and it will default to 25, 26 for this year. So going to defects, we really strive to fix defects as quickly as possible. This defect resolves an error that users would receive when using the graduation exemptions import for the college ready and honors seals. It's actually for all the seals, but specifically this defect is for those two seals since they are read only. So when we're importing the R for remove for either of these two seals, but don't freak out right now. Both check marks will be removed. However, as soon as the nightly job is run or check for updated information is pressed on a specific student's graduation summary page, it will recheck the earned, if applicable, on either of those two seals. So if a primary contact did not show a primary home address, then no other information or some information was missing in the Easy Query Assist student search. So we fixed that. So regardless of whether the primary contact has an address, whatever information is in for that primary contact will show up in a search. This defect was very strange. So when you created an ad hoc membership at the building level, and you had access, it was a public one, and you had access to that ad hoc membership, if you tried to run it at the building level, it wouldn't give you any results. It would only give you results if you were at the district level. So we have fixed that, and it doesn't matter whatever access you have, it will provide the same information, either building or district level. So there was an issue where for some districts and buildings, on the EMIS attendance hour summary report, when you went to select your school name, it would just spin and you couldn't select anything. So that was kind of frustrating. So we fixed that. The gifted area students report was not returning students who did not have a local ethnic category selected. So we have fixed that, and the report will load and include students regardless of whether they have that field completed. So so now we're shifting totally to personnel now to staff. On the staff tab, when you would go to search for an existing staff member and you would put in 99s, which is typical for somebody who you may not have to report necessarily, or they don't have a teacher ID or a state staff ID, or you just don't know it, so you'd put all 9s. When you put that on this page, it would just spin and spin and spin and spin, and nothing would come back. So right now, so we fixed that. So if you put 9 9s in there, it will just key on the other information. It will kind of just ignore those 9 9s, but it will give you back information if it's there. So we have been working on removing inactive buildings on different drop downs. On this particular page, the staff page, on the primary school, we have removed inactive buildings. And this is just for this is just for districts on using the new, what we've been calling the new Exago. It's actually a new report designer. It's kind of the same thing. So if you have transitioned over, which I'm not sure if anybody has, Megan, in your ITC, but what we found was when a user would press the print threshold on a specific student's absence intervention page, it would print for all the students for different years. It was really very irritating. So we fixed that, and now it just prints as expected, just the students' information for that current school year. So for some future updates, I'm continuing to rework the graduation. Oh, I kept points in there. Sorry about that. In the graduation summary page, the first set of changes within 25.1, and we are looking into including local requirements on that page. Also, working towards bulk uploading or updating gifted data as well. Again, we are continuing to remove the Social Security number throughout the SIS. And for attendance, we are not removing anything from the absence intervention page right now. We are looking at changes, maybe some updates for chronic absenteeism on that page, but we're still doing research on what would be the best for our districts to do that. And just for your information, there are attendance reports listed for the Analytics Hub in the Learning Center, and I've given a link here, all the reports that we have. There are a lot. And still some things that are in the future, adding a new course section info category for course sections for Report Designer, and also creating a new report to list student ASVAB student ASVAB scores. And that's for this SIS. So I'm going to present EMIS updates for 25.2. So for fiscal year 26, a new graduation pathway program code has been added. And so we've added this to membership codes, and this is to exempt students from the half a credit of financial literacy instruction. The next thing we did for fiscal year 26, or we are doing for fiscal year 26, is removing the student truancy and excessive absence FT transfer record, which is no longer collected by the state. We updated the vocational correlated records page. That first drop down will include courses with the curriculum element of PS, in addition to the VN, VP, or VT, which it currently does, but the PS is new. There is a new college level examination program, the CLEP, that we have to report, that districts have to report. So we will be adding this to the assessment page, including the 40 area codes and their descriptions. So this is just a few snippets of what the screen will look like. It's very similar to all the other assessment pages. Really the big difference is that this will be a manually entered assessment, as we don't have a results file available to import. So if we ever get that, we'll look into creating an import for that. But right now it's just manually entering that information. And we've also added it to the ANG, the assessment and the graduation collection. Also, I should note, this is the first CSV file that we have created. All of Odoo is transferring or converting all of their transfer files to CSV as opposed to flat file. We've added the new type of discipline 9, prior expulsion extended under board policy to extend. That's a huge mouthful. This code has been added to the SIS and will now be included in the transfer file if applicable. Districts must configure a new discipline code type of 9 for the new prior expulsion extended under board policy to extend. So please note, though, that the discipline codes, if they are set up at building level, you'll have to do this at each building. This is just some guidelines from ODU for correct reporting of that new discipline code. And we've added reporting for the Ohio RISE program. Essentially, this has just been added to the sent to reason dropdowns on the edit student profile screen on the FS student standing tab. So districts will have access to this code by using EMIS situation code 659. Please note this should only be reported by the district who is responsible for the cost of educating the student. We've updated some industry credential point values. They were published in September of 25. So we've updated those, and we've also included the addition of, we added the agriculture career field to CJ77. That was a change that we found as well. So here are some of the industry, these are the industry credential point values that we did update the current values along with their new point values. We've added a new area on the DN collection, the DN district organization info tab on the district and building information page. This is to collect the use of overdose reversal drugs that are maintained by the school district. A few EMIS defects have been identified and fixed. Some membership codes were not being included in the MEM-BEMIS report, so we have fixed that to ensure all EMIS reportable membership codes appear in that report. The new fiscal year 25 industry credential codes were not copied up to fiscal year 26. So we are applying those changes for the new release. However, we did apply those changes in December via a script. So you should have all of those in your SIS as of December, as of last December. Again, I did mention that we are continuing to work through inactive buildings on drop downs, removing those. So these two areas, the majority of attendance IRN and the accountability IRN, both those drop downs will no longer show inactive buildings. And there was a defect when the check EMIS was run. It was displaying incorrect statuses for the L collection verified processes. So now it will display accurate statuses. And that's what I have for the 25.2 changes. Are there any questions that I can answer before I go on to some planned EMIS updates?
I did want to mention that this release is planned for mid-February timeframe. So
Yes.
okay, that's what I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that part too, because that was probably going to be a question on a lot of their minds.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna, this is just looking ahead. These will be changes that will continue into fiscal year 27. So a really big change that we're trying to just move forward, bit by bit, is the updating of updating the transfer files from flat file to CSV, as that's where Odoo is going. Eventually, the flat files will be discontinued. So the first one, well, we just did the CLEP, but the next one we're working on is updating the FN attributes transfer file to CSV, because the flat file editor will be discontinued in April. And EMIS coordinators use that flat file editor for the retention promotion collection in order to add additional students that are in the file that is created by SIS in that year. So by updating it to a CSV, hopefully that will help users be able to add students more easily than a flat file. But hopefully that will help add those additional students. We also be working on FM detailed attendance record moving forward. That is required in fiscal year 27. It's not really going to change attendance reporting. It just will look a little different. And that is all I have. Are there any questions on anything that I have presented? Okay.
Quiet group. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to switch screens. I'm going to take over for the final portion. I'm going to start off with data map, and I'm going to follow the same format that Kim was using, where I'm going to go over what is in the release that is coming out pretty soon, and then I'll touch on some stuff that is in the works. First item up here is we've added the counselor filter to the graduation summary and student search. The idea here is, and this is school year specific, so if your counselors are meeting with students, they can log into data map, filter on themselves, and then find the list of students that they're working with to look at graduation data, or to look at assessments that they've taken and their scores that have been loaded for the school year. We got the request to add birth date to the printed RIMP. I don't know if this was an auditing requirement or not, or if it's just an informational piece that's useful, but we added it right there underneath the grade. This RIMP code list just keeps getting longer and longer. And for some reason, we didn't think to put these in numerical order. So as we were adding them, they were kind of just in a list. So we've gone back, and anywhere where you interact with the RIMP codes, they are now in numeric order. So hopefully you can find what you're looking for. We also got a request to add the list of attachments when you're printing interventions. I guess people are using the interventions more and more, and they're adding relevant documents that have to do with that student and the intervention. But when you go to print an intervention, the goals or the progress monitoring might reference something that's attached, but you wouldn't know it because you couldn't see the list. So now we list the name and the file type of the documents that are attached to those interventions. A few issues that we resolved that will be in 25.2. For some reason, the district trust handshake icon was missing. It's a little confusing. Some people were seeing students in their searches that they weren't expecting to see. Well, that's because there was a district trust set up, but the icon wasn't showing. So it's back. And now you'll know why you're looking at students' names that you don't recognize. And the data points area of the state assessment section of the student roadmap was taking a long time to load, like an exceptionally long time to load. So we updated that page and it should be loading much quicker now. All right, so now on to planned updates. So this will be post 25.2. We're always focusing on RIMP template requirements and changes that are coming from ODEW. I always look to the ITCs to help inform me of those changes. So if you hear of anything, let them know and I'll meet with them. Also, to help support tracking RIMPs, we've been adding progress monitoring imports, not just assessment, full assessment imports. So if there are any progress monitoring assessments that you use, just let us know. And as long as there's a clean format, we can add those imports so you can use that information to track your students. We're always having to keep up with assessment import changes. The vendors don't really give us a heads up. They just kind of change them. They'll change the name of a heading or add some columns. We always find out about it later. So we can always try to get those changes out in between releases, but we always need to know about them ahead of so we can actually make the changes. So let us know. And then we are working on the ability to bulk print the PDF version of grad plans out of DataMap. So that's something people have been asking for a minute, and I think we're getting closer. So yeah, that's what we're working on. Any questions for DataMap?
Can I ask a quick question, Matthias?
Sure.
I know that that is something that a lot of people have. You're correct. It's been, a high request. Is that only going to be in Datamap, or is that going to be in SI as well?
So for right now, we are researching how to do it in DataMap because we already have a good way to search for and get a list of students, and if they have grad plans ready and they're in the PDF format, it will be much easier for us to grab them and bulk print them. So yeah, to start off with, that will be the first place where that feature will show up.
Perfect. Thank you. And then this is going to be the data map plug. If there are any districts that are interested in data map, I know the grad summary area is a big piece in that on that side. So if you are ever interested in having another presentation, maybe you had it and you haven't had it for a while, just reach out to Beth and she can help get that set up for you.
Yeah, it's a really useful feature to filter down a group of students and even just export graduation data into Excel and manipulate it even further. So
I
all
have a
right.
question. I have a
Sure thing.
question, but it's regarding RIMPs.
Okay.
When the RIMPs are in there, if ODE decides that they're no longer using that, do you guys go in and make the chances so it's not even an option? I know that there's a field that we can go in as admins and click which ones we use or not, but sometimes one gets by me. So do you guys do that? Should I put it in a ticket to maybe you could look into that?
Okay. That's a very good question. And we've thought about doing that in the past. We do not currently holistically turn on or off RIMP codes for districts through a release. I know that's kind of like a complicated. not trying to be political when I'm answering that, but we try to leave it up to the districts to choose which RIM codes they want to use. The difficulty with removing them is, should we really be removing them from existing RIMPs because it was used during the life of that RIMP? The best time to come in and update that list is during the summer before the next school year starts. So the next release that we'll be publishing the new RIMP codes, as long as we get them from ODEW on time, will be the 26.0 update this summer. Yeah, I mean, if there's a better way that we can handle it, we're always open to making things easier for you. That's just kind of been our stance on that, is to try to keep RIMPs the way that they were when they were worked on for auditing purposes.
Matthias, I do have a little idea for that situation that may
Sure.
help the districts is for the RIMP codes that, without removing them, maybe put in parentheses, uh, no longer used per ODE, or put like just a little quote there that just says, hey, these RIMP codes as of 10/10/26 are no longer used by OD, or something, some kind of wording maybe beside the RIMP code that is no longer in OD. Just an idea.
Oh, so actually just update the name of it
Right. To show like,
dissuade people from using it in
Sure.
case an admin hasn't gone in to update the list.
yeah,
Ah, all
just
right.
an idea.
I like
I
it.
think I like it too. I think it's a fabulous idea. So if we go in there in July or August, um, I have to pull up the whole manual and see which ones go and which ones do not fit, which ones aren't available, and I would have to do that every year because it's a once a year thing. So I think it's a great idea, Jenny.
So maybe, I mean, we can work on the wording. If this group didn't know, we have an advisory committee, and we meet with ITC representatives monthly to go over changes like that. So if you ever have an enhancement request, just pass it along to LACA, and they'll bring it up to us, and we'll discuss it, kind of like we're doing right now. But let me take a note real quick, and then I'll move on to the next section.
Yeah, obviously wording is a big thing. It's just an idea.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it highlights what's changed, but it also leaves it intact in case it has been used. All right. Thanks for the feedback. All right, on to gradebook updates. So, I don't know who all in this group is updating school features very often, but we got the request to add the ability to print paper copies of all the students in a report card run when you are finalizing a report card. I also don't know who in this group is sending their report cards to the vault for each reporting period, or at least once a year. It's a good idea to do that. It's harder to go back in time and do that for previous school years, so I highly suggest doing that. But it also gets a little cumbersome when you're finalizing the report card, sending to the vault, and going back to preliminary, setting up the same exact report card, and then running it in order to just get that Word doc to print it. Well, if you are finding yourself in that situation where we added a school feature here per school to essentially mark all of the students in that school as requires paper copy. technically, we are not going into SIS and actually updating that flag. So there are students who actually need that flag updated on their profile. We're not interacting with that. We're just kind of like faking it. So if your school has this feature turned on and you run a report card for a student in that building, they will be in the paper copy run of a finalized report card. And you can download that PDF and it will match what's going to the vault. So it'll be in the same format.
Thank you.
Sure thing. So we are sending this out turned off. So if you want this turned on, we do have like this select all button up at the top if you want to just turn it on for all of your buildings or just individually. There was a lot of work that we did on the back end that I didn't highlight in my slides, but along with this feature, we're now reaching out to the vault to grab PDFs of report cards if it's been finalized instead of storing them in the district database. We're freeing up a lot of space on the database side, which will help improve the application's responsiveness. And also when it comes time to roll over for the next school year, it will take a lot less time. So kind of like the boring side of my job, but we decided to do that work while we were working on this feature. Oh, I did have it in my slide. I should have just gone to the next page. Sorry. We also got the request to allow legal guardians to view fee information inside of Parent Access. So a person with a Parent Access account that's tied to a contact for a student is not always the primary. Sometimes people go out there and create extra Parent Access accounts for other family members or people who interact with a student, but they can't see legal fees. So now, as of 25.2, if you have a Parent Access account, and even if you're not the primary, as long as that Parent Access account is linked to a contact that's tied to the student and it has the legal guardian flag, they will be able to see that fees tab and the fees information for that student. I know that's a little complicated, and we're looking at ways to create Parent Access accounts for not just primary, but also legal guardian in addition to existing accounts. I kind of fumbled that in, I think, the summer release. We had to fix it really quickly. But anybody have any questions on that? Okay, cool. I'm going to move on to planned updates. So stuff that is in the future. We are looking to add the teacher side navigation. If you're an administrator, or if you have the administration role or master role in Gradebook, you will have already used side navigation. If you're in student information, there's side navigation there, and inside of data map as well. Well, in Gradebook, we're looking to expand the side navigation for teachers in order to get to different pages within their Gradebook rather than relying on that giant column of links right in the middle of the page. So when we deliver this feature, we'll keep that center column. We don't want to flip everybody's experience on its head, but yeah, this is the direction that we're headed. So just wanted to give you a sneak peek into that. And then we are working on adding Gradebook Exago reports and adding the report designer that you using student information for gradebook information as well. The goal will also be to create reports that utilize both data sets. So you could ostensibly make reports that use both student information data and gradebook data. So the first one that we're working on is replacing the data set or introducing the data set that people would use to create the student progress report within Gradebook. And the next set of information that we're working on is all of the data that you see present on the absence queue page. That page is pretty useful unless you are using live attendance with SIS. So we just want to maybe adjust that page and replace it with the report instead. All right. I'm gonna move on to parent access unless I have some gradebook questions. All right. So I'm going to cover the most recent release that went out in August, and then I'll be covering changes that will be going out fairly soon as well. We have another version of the mobile app coming out, 1.0.8, but the current version is 1.0.7. We added the assignment due today list. So that's a view where you can see all the assignments for your classes, not just going through each class. You can see what's due today. We added the ability for people to email their teacher from a specific assignment. So you used to be able to do that, but it would just open up your device's email application with the to field filled out, but nothing else. So with this feature, it will actually include the title of the assignment. Hopefully that makes it easier for people to interact with their teacher. We had to make some changes to keep up with Apple's OS version. So everybody can use the app if they're keeping their phone up to date. So here's that assignment due today screenshot. And like I said, this is in the app right now. And then the assignment details email creation, it autofills the subject line with the class and the assignment name. All right, now on to planned updates 1.0.8. We have the class schedule report view, landscape view for report cards. We started an attendance chart page, assignments due list, and assignment details view improvements like UI improvements. So when you're looking at the schedule in the upcoming release, you'll actually be able to turn your phone into landscape mode and view the schedule a little easier rather than a long list. And we're doing the same thing for report cards. So as long as you don't have your orientation locked on your phone, you can just turn it sideways to find an easier view of the report card. Here's a sneak peek of the attendance chart. So just adding a nice bar graph or at a quick glance, you can view those totals. And then we're also introducing today's attendance card. So while you're looking at attendance, you can see if there was an absence today or not, with information about that attendance record if it was filled out. All right, Next is the assignment due list. So if you have an attendance record and you select it, you can also see the assignments that were due on that day if your student was absent. So just go to the attendance tab, click on the attendance that they missed, and then you can see the list of assignments from their classes that are due that day. Hopefully, at this point, those assignments are online so that the students can fill them out. If you just want to double check, I don't know who all has kids here. Sometimes you just got to double check, right? All right. And then we did some work on our user interface just to clean some stuff up. So that is what is in 1.0.8. We have a pretty fantastic rating in the App Store. I don't know if all of your users even know that we have a mobile app, but this is what it's called. There was like a fake one out there. I don't know why anyone did that, but got to make sure that people actually search for this title. And yeah.
Can I ask, on the mobile, is there any chance that you could see the student ID on it? I know if they use the web version, you can see the student ID when a parent logs in, but they can't see a student ID because they sometimes need their student ID for other reasons. And I know
Okay.
they always say they can't see it on the mobile.
Oh, okay. There has to be an existing request for that. So I'll double check. But yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you.
And are we talking about the district ID or the
Just
school
their-
ID?
the student, is that what it, yeah.
They get so many IDs.
Yeah, hang on, what is it called? Insys, sorry.
That's all right.
I gotta go look. I think it's just a student ID, but
I think you're probably wanting the student ID that shows
Yeah.
up by the kid's
Yes.
photo. Yeah.
right,
Yep, that'd be the student ID.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just they need it for like when they do their lunch thing or something for the kid and then they don't have it and,
For
they call the
fees.
office. They call the office.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Comments? Feedback? All right. That's all I got for you. If you have any questions, just let us know. And like Megan said, I'll be sharing this slide deck with her so that she can distribute it for the group. So I'm going to pass it back to the team.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks for the time.
Does anybody have any questions for Kim or Matthias right now before we move on? If you do and you don't necessarily want to ask in front of everybody, that's okay. You can always send those to any one of our team individually and we can pass it on as well. So,
All right. Thank you.
all right. Thank you
you,
guys.
Thank you.
All right. I am going to move on to talk about scheduling trainings. It's the time of year right now, obviously, with being February. A lot of folks are starting at the high school level to get their course requests and get everything set up for that new school year and scheduling. Before you're able to schedule, we do need to create that new school year. If we have received your forms, I think I just received a couple this week, so we're still working through those ones that I did receive this week, but I have sent you a message back if your new year is created. Some schools like us to promote the students for you. Others do that on their own. So if you're a school that does that on your own, you will more than likely tell me we're going to handle the student promotion. So, not a problem. If you want us to handle the student promotion, we need you to tell us when you want those kiddos moved to that new school year. So the main thing is once we get your school year initialization, we can create that new year and then you can start the scheduling process. You cannot start that scheduling process until that building is built. And then I strongly suggest one-on-one scheduling trainings. So my calendar is starting to fill up with those trainings already. So just be sure to let me know as soon as you have a date in mind, then we can get you guys set up for those Zoom sessions. And we do the one-on-one sessions now. It's worked very well the past couple of years because every district is so different, but even within the district, every building is so different. So a lot of times I'll do a session with the middle school and then I'll do a session with the high school. Elementaries usually don't schedule this early on, but your high school and middle schools are typically right in the thick of scheduling. They're getting all those recommendations back from testing, from the teacher recommendations, and they're starting to get all those requests in. So now's the time of year that we really need those. Again, I will send out a follow-up email if I have not received your SYI yet, but just kind of keep an eye out on that if you're on the team leader list to know that I need those forms back before I can build your new year. Are there any questions about that specifically? Okay. Well, again, if you have questions, you can email me, you can give me a call, and then we'll work through all of that together. And I do have last year's forms, so if you need to see what you had last year set up, I can also send that to you. If the calendar is not board approved yet, that is okay as well. We can, put kind of fake dates in now and then mass update those once you do get your board approved calendar. That is something that I think folks typically say they're waiting on, but we don't have to hold everybody up just because that calendar isn't board approved yet. We can still get everything created and move the kiddos so that they can start scheduling and start that process. And then I can mass update those dates as soon as you have your calendar approved. Okay.
So Megan, once our calendar is approved, you want us to send it to you?
Yes, that would be great if it's different
Okay.
than what was on the school year initialization forms.
Okay,
Because then I can
beautiful.
go in and just make sure that it's updated for all of the buildings.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'm going to pass it over to Beth.
Hello, I just have a couple things for gradebook. Those sign up forms that I do for our gradebook will be sent out April or sooner, and those will be due June 30th. And again, just like last year, those will have to be returned before return integration on in August. So that worked well last year. It was nice to have them all back and have your building set up when school started. So we will still do that. Report card changes also due June 30th. I have already gotten people talking to me about that. So if you have them now, I can start working on them and have them finalized how you like them before you leave for this year. Otherwise, by June 30th, just so I have them completed prior to the first day of school. I'm also, I didn't put it on here, but also available for trainings, one-on-one, open labs, new staff, refreshers, anything you might need, just let me know, and I can set that up for you. And that's all I have.
Good morning. So I just have a few updates as well. For Same Goal in February, there's several trainings going on right now, and I just want you to know that it's not just for special ed. I've listed all the programs that are in Same Goal, and these events are for any users that would like to get some further training. I highly recommend, as I am going through these trainings in February also. I've left a link. We also have this on the LACA webpage listed so that users can go directly to this link and sign up for classes. One of the big updates for EMIS coordinators, especially that are on here, Same Goal has changed the way that CIEPs populate, and they are no longer populating on the EMIS at a glance. So I have sent this out to the special ed team, but I wanted EMIS coordinators to be aware that CIEPs no longer report on EMIS at a glance. And I have sent guidance on this for your special ed teams, but I'm also still working with Same Goal to get this fixed, as we know this is part of reporting for EMIS. Another thing that's coming up are sped ed forms. Same Goal is working with ODE and possibly by the end of this year, but I've heard some other dates that aren't written in stone yet. So new forms are going to be coming out, and I'm kind of waiting to see, hopefully by April, those are released, and we will have a Same Goal special ed meeting. And then the next slide just talks about the new enhancements that have been done as of 25-26. These are continuing to update continuously. So make sure everyone's just checking out those updates in Same Goal by going to the blog post or the event page. And same as Beth and Megan, I'm available for trainings. If you want to go through your Same Goal, look at your settings anytime, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is there. So, and does anyone have any questions for me? Any concerns? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks. It is such a quiet group this morning, and I feel like we flew through everything because it's just so quiet today. But I do want to reiterate what Beth and Jenny both said. If you have a PD day, if you have anything coming up and you think, oh, this would be a great time for us to just kind of throw together a refresher, or I've done quick little attendance and discipline reports trainings, and just quick little refresher trainings for folks on PD days. We are all available for that. All of our team is, so please feel free to reach out. Again, the end of year is going to be here before we know it. So our next meeting is going to be a lot of the end of year follow-up suggestions on end of year reports that we want to run. The never-ending conversation about, a data storage system. How are you storing your data once you run all of your year-end reports, that kind of thing. So we do have a lot of information that's probably going to be in that next meeting. As always, I'll send out a recap of this meeting, but we do post the meeting video on our YouTube channel as well. And so I will make sure that that is included in my follow-up. But this is the time where we kind of open everything up to say, do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? What would you like to chat about? So we're here for it. That release is coming mid-February. We don't have a date yet. As soon as we have a date when it's going to be installed, I will make sure to send out communication so that you guys are aware of when that's coming and when that's installed. But as of right now, we don't have that official date release yet. So we're kind of waiting here as an ITC on that as well. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
I can stop the recording if maybe that's